You're watching BCTV. We're all about Brantford. You're watching BCTV, Brantford Government Television, a service of Brantford Community Television. This program is brought to you in part through the support of the town of Brantford.
Okay, I'd like to call this meeting to order, March 9th, 2020, 5:30 p.m.
Yeah, they're both the same.
5:30, no, almost 5:40. First thing on the agenda is the approval of the minutes for Tuesday, February 11th.
So moved.
Second,
Aye.
report of the chief.
Wait, we have to vote on it. All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Chief?
All right. I don't have a lot to report this month. You'll see in the packet, the arrests were up a little bit. I believe we had about 16 more arrests than the month prior. And also, we discussed this last month. We had a few cars that were stolen. Again, this is a pervasive problem that's continuing throughout the state. Any car that's left unlocked that has a fob in it, or if the car is left unlocked, they're going through them. Again, let's try to be mindful and lock the cars. Also, unfortunately, we did have a fatal drug overdose, and we had another one this weekend. So we are still dealing with the issues of the fentanyl and the heroin. We did have one overdose with a save with the Narcan. So that is an issue that we're still contending with. In the report, you'll see the robbery at the Krauser's Market. I highlighted that. That was a very good job by the officers. That was a robbery in progress that ended up being a juvenile. As far as correspondence, I have a letter from the fire department wanting to express their appreciation of the professionalism of Officer William Burkhart. Back on the 1st, we had a one-car motor vehicle accident. It was a type of accident that required the fire department's full expertise in extrication. It was a Jeep that was upside down and the occupant was trapped. It was an extensive operation. Our officers relayed back that the fire department did a tremendous job. They're in turn saying that our officer on scene did a very good job. There was wires down. It was a complex operation. So they reached out and wanted to thank Officer Burkhart. So we appreciate his professionalism during a time of a difficult scene with a lot going on. Also, I received a letter from UNH thanking Lieutenant Corey Dione and Sergeant Carney for their attending a women in policing forum. They went down there, answered some questions, spoke about their careers and the K-9 program also, and the university was appreciative of that, and they do a nice job with that. They also did some of our recruiting efforts with the school down at UNH. As far as the forfeiture report, the only thing that is on the agenda under a forfeiture report is CALIA accreditation fee. We had talked about this in the past. The time has come to get going and get this accreditation. This is something that our partners in the area have. We had it back in, I believe, 2006 or 2008. It is basically a national commission, the Commission on Accreditation of Law Enforcement Agencies. There's 100 of standards that we need to meet. They look at our policies, they look at our overall operation, every facet of the department they look at. It is a 3-year program that we go through. So when we sign the contract, we have 3 years to meet the standards. I don't have any question that we're going to meet the standards. My only question is how fast and how we're going to get there, and I think we're going to get there very quickly. We're positioned very well to do this. A couple of reasons why I want to pursue this. The cost for the startup is $11,450. That's the initial startup cost. After that, there's a yearly $4,000 fee. We've been facing increasing challenges in law enforcement, and one of the things that keeps coming up is state accreditation and national accreditation. There's only about 17 or 16 departments in the state of Connecticut that are CLIA accredited. Our partners, East Haven, Madison, Guilford, North Haven, they're all CLIA accredited agencies. I've seen the process. I believe in the process. It makes us look at the 360 view of the department. You're on top of everything. There's reports that we generate anyways on use of force, pursuits, state mandated reports that we're doing anyways, but they take it a step farther. They come out, they inspect your facility, they talk with the staff, they talk with the command staff, they want to see that you're buying in. It's professionalism. It puts you a standard above most PDs. It shows that you're transparent, you're doing the best practices in law enforcement. We're doing a lot of that, so why shouldn't we get credit for it? I think it's something good. It's like I said, it's a next level for us, and it's the logical step. Our policies are close and ready, then let's go for it. So I would request that we take that out of asset forfeiture, $11,450.
Chief DiCarlo was the first one to start this with us.
Jill, can I say something?
Yes.
Thank you. Our budget committee met last week, discussed this $11,450, and we would recommend to this body that we go along with the chief wants. So I'd like to make a motion that we approve $11,450 from the forfeiture fund to get the CALIA program going. Can I have a second, please?
Second.
Is that an agenda item, the amount of money?
All in favor?
Aye.
I mean, is that an agenda item, the amount of money?
It says on the agenda, CLIA accreditation fee.
Fee? Okay, because you're supposed to have the liquidated amount according to Robert's rules, but.
The agenda is controlled by the Freedom of Information Act.
Yeah.
So the motion with the exact amount is what is reflected in the minutes, which then is also reflected in the purchase order, which then is reflected in our records. So
Yeah.
it's on there, the CLIA accreditation fee. So it is an agenda item.
Yes.
And we've seen it, and again, recommend
Well, if it's
that.
pattern and practice, then that's one thing. My concern is the record going back 5 or 6 years, which is minuscule in this situation. But in any event, it's always good to put the amount of money in.
Yep.
Okay.
And the
we-
second,
So,
We need a vote on that.
yes,
She seconded, we didn't all.
We didn't vote yet.
all in favor? Aye.
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 Yeah.
Okay. Can I continue, Jill?
Yes,
Is that
you
right?
may.
Okay. In that same meeting, we met and discussed the use of the forfeiture fund by the chief, and in those discussions, we wish to make a recommendation that the chief has discretion to use up to $5,000 of that fund with discretion when necessary. When used in that manner, a report will be made to the commission. And I'd like a motion from somebody here to approve that.
John.
I
Second.
approve.
I second. All in
Motion
favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Same
Aye.
argument, but pattern and practice, I'll go along with it, yes.
the only other transfer I have is a budget transfer request with approval from the commission so I can get on the Board of Finance agenda. So we looked for capital last year of $6,000 to replace furniture. For those of you who walk through the building and see that the detective division is utilizing desks that are from the original police building that were brought over here. So that gives you a kind of an estimate of how old it is. In our records division, they have some desks. There are our typists, our stenographers for the police reports, and the desks were originally built for typewriters. So the heights and the sitting measurements for their ergonomics are not there. This is what they do pretty much all day. So we have a company that we found in Manchester, Connecticut, that refurbishes office equipment. Knowing the cost of office furniture, I was figuring to do the detectives and the records division was going to be in easy exceed $50,000 because I had worked on a project prior and the numbers are very high. I knew that would be a tough hurdle, but we were able to find this company. The vast majority of it, 75% of it's on state contract. What they do is they take, the businesses that go out of business, they clear them out, they redo everything, they put new countertops on it. So for all the detective workstations, all the records clerks workstations, some filing cabinets and chairs. Chairs are always breaking, we're always short chairs, and chairs are expensive. And the youth officer, which is up in the front of the building, has a hodgepodge of whatever no one wanted, he took for his furniture. So included in that, it was roughly $25,000 for all of it installed. And it's high quality, it's steel case brand, it's your high quality stuff. So when we take out what is existing in capital, the amount, let me just find it, I have it here, that I need to transfer, I'd like to transfer it out of regular wages and salaries.
To capital.
To capital, yes. Would be $15,905.
15,000, how much?
905.
But that's an executive decision, which is yours, because that's parity when you're transferring ones.
The standard way we work here, Tony, as you may remember, is that we're going to make a recommendation to the RTM to make that transfer. And they
Well,
will
make it clear to the RTM that this particular instance is an
We will.
executive decision, and it's
Yes.
his decision if he feels it.
Well, we have to approve it.
Well, no,
Okay.
you don't.
Yeah, we do. We have to approve that
I think you
he,
have to make it clear to them, but you don't necessarily need the approval because he is the chief executive officer, has the right to make those changes within the building they feel is necessary.
Yeah, but so what we used to do is my office would draft a letter in the name of the chairman that the Board of Police Commissioners respectfully request an appearance at the next Board of Finance. Board of Finance, they hear it, and ultimately it goes to the RTM. Once that's approved, then they make the transfer in our accounts and I can utilize it. Until that point, I don't have any authority to transfer line to line.
Right.
It has to come through the commission.
has to come to the commission.
Please talk.
This
about
is what
it
our
so-
budget committee does all the time.
Yeah,
All right.
and as we move forward, we're gonna have
Right.
more
From
transfers.
wages to wages.
Right, so it's going to go from, let me make it in the form of a motion. I'd like to make a motion that the commission approves a transfer from wages and salaries to capital for $15,905 for furniture.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I don't mean to be a technician on these things, but I just,
Okay,
Trying to
injury
dot the
report
i's.
next.
Injury.
Injury, we're good. Letters we covered,
Covered.
so we're down to traffic committee.
Where's Peter?
We're missing
That me?
Peter.
Yeah, where'd
Does
Peter
that
go?
mean Peter had to go?
Oh, he had to go,
Feeling
okay.
well.
Oh, no, okay. All right. Val, you gonna do it?
Okay, I think so. Okay. So we had 6 requests. Requests for not a throughway and stop sign in Flax Mill. These are we put together, and we are going to approve a narrow road sign for the intersection of Flax Mill and Hollow intersection. That's number 1. and 2.
Should we make that in form of motion?
No,
Oh,
let's,
do we-
let's wait
Or
and do
just
the
do them
whole,
all?
the whole thing.
You
Okay.
tell me, yeah,
That's fine.
I'm new, okay. Number 3, stop sign on Parish Farms Road.
Number 2, want to back up?
No, 1 and 2 are together.
Oh, okay.
1 and 2 are together. 3, request for stop sign on Parish Farm Road, the intersection of Todd's Hill. We're going to defer this to April. We need more information from the town planner for that to go forward. Number 4, request for mirrors on Meadow Street, Church, and the south side of Laurel, across from the Blackstone Library. Mirrors are not a good solution here. We've talked about it. We've looked at it. We are going to install a no parking beyond this sign on that intersection. And again, going with no mirrors, we don't think that that would be of any help here. Good, okay. Number 5, request for appropriate signage, intersection of Cedar Street and Rose Street. This is the Shore Catholic Academy. Long discussion. We've all talked together, and we feel that we need to all get together and study this a little more by the police department and by the school itself, and get suggestions all the way around that we will have some possible, it's just a busy intersection. We need to find lots of small solutions that will help this problem. Number 6, correction of a speed sign on Leeds Island Road. There's 35 miles an hour from beginning to end there. We think that there was a 25 mile an hour zone sign put up by mistake, wrongly installed. So we will be changing that out to have it be consistent with 35 miles an hour on Leeds Island.
Good to know.
That's it.
Nice job.
All those in favor of the traffic report?
Aye.
Okay. You have something to say?
Yeah, I'd like to just say one thing about that. I'm glad we made the vote. This issue, it's a very important issue, the Cedar Street and Rose Street issue. I don't think we should gloss over it in any way, not that we are, but this is an issue that we've looked at before. This school is growing at a very rapid rate. We all recognize that there are, in fact, issues there, and we're going to work very closely, and I know you said this, but we're going to work very closely with the school and the chief, and there do appear to be a number of issues that we could do to improve this situation, and we're taking this, very, very seriously, and hopefully we'll have some good suggestions and good resolutions to this over the next month or 2 or 3. And it may take a while, but
It's a complex situation.
it's a complex situation, but we recognize it and appreciate it, and will do something about it.
Any more comments on anything on the traffic committee? No?
Nope.
Okay, report of the chair. Basically, our next meeting is April 13th, and that's my report. And then we have an executive session next, so Henry, you're excused, I guess.
Yeah, if I may, Chair, we need a motion to go into executive session, but in that, could we please include Captain Galdenzi for the purposes of the possible appointment of candidates to fill vacancies in the patrol rank? Captain Galdenzi ran the process and is better suited to answer some of the questions the commission may have, so we just need to include him in the motion.
So moved, as you wish, to include Captain Galdenzi. Can I have a second?
Second. We've come out of executive session.
7 o'clock.
No votes were
That doesn't
taken.
create a conflict. that's all.
Rick?
Yes, thank you very much. At this point, I'd like to make a motion for the appointment to patrol officer on April 2nd of Jeff Kudo, and the appointment to patrol officer for Jason Richardson on April the 3rd. Can I have a second?
Second. All in favor?
Aye. Now, what I'd like to do is make another motion to have a conditional offer of employment for Cole Parati. It is conditional on the successful completion of all pre-employment criteria, including a positive result in the police academy. So I think I'd like to have a second on that.
Just to correct the record,
Yep.
position, a vacancy in the
A
police.
vacancy in the
Yep.
police academy, correct. Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye. I'd also like to offer a conditional offer of employment to Tom Mikulczyk, and I may be a little off on that pronunciation. He conditional on the successful completion of all pre-employment criteria, including a position in the police academy, and a vacancy in the Brantford Police Department. Can I have a second?
Aye. Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Everybody else?
All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Okay,
Okay.
great.
Motion to adjourn?
Yes, motion to adjourn.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This program was brought to you in part through the support of the Town of Brantford. Watch town meetings and other videos on demand at BrantfordTV.org.